everybody, welcome back to the channel and more Blood and Plunder for you here as we work our way through the remaining French commanders that we missed first go around. Today we're taking a look at Sieur de Grammont. Interesting character, definitely up there as far as points cost, and a lot of good abilities, a lot of great things going on here, but there is just a fair few things to consider when running him. There's just, again, multiple things going on here with his weapons choices, but also force modifiers and things like that. But let's jump in. He is there to lead a French buccaneer force, costing us 32 points. We do have the option of putting him on a horse for an extra point should we want to do so. He does have the brace of pistols or the buccaneer gun and standard melee weapon. Sidearms choice, none or a pistol if he is armed with the buccaneer gun. So ultimately, if you go the buccaneer gun choice, you really would have more just total options, right? You'd have the gun, the pistol, and the melee weapon, or you could just go brace of pistols and melee weapon for the advantage that the brace does give you. But plenty of choices there. Also, another one of these characters that has the superlative 16-inch command range. So absolutely fantastic. Really just covering a lot of territory on the battlefield that where that ability will take effect. So good stuff there. Couple that with the 3 command points. So we've got, as far as those 2 stats go, all we could actually ask for. Special rules, also 2 very good ones that we've already covered a lot. One that I don't think we've had before, which is Siege Expert. We'll get into that in a second. Very inspiring, of course, is going to go hand in hand with that command range and those 3 command points. So basically, anybody who fails a rally test just gets a reroll. So we have the ability really, unless things are going really exceptionally bad, to keep our force in the fight as long as possible and keep them operating as well as possible to hopefully beat and overcome the enemy. Then Elan is another great one. Should we find ourselves in close combat, we can actually issue an order to a unit outside of that. Normally, we'd be restricted on doing that. So situational, right? Maybe we don't necessarily want to get the commander's unit into close combat all the time, but stuff happens, whether we're being forced into it or we need to get into it. So that's always good to have as well. Siege Expert, though, let's jump into that one because that's one that we have not seen before, and really it's not one of those abilities that turns on yet another ability, so really there's an extra ability behind Siege Expert. So just kind of reading this verbatim here from the book. Any unit in this force with the artillery crew or expert artillery crew special rules also gains the field gun special rule. That's that extra ability. Additionally, when an artillery piece that is fired during the commander's activation scores a critical or lucky hit, you can re-roll the initial result. So that's pretty cool, getting a free re-roll. And again, anytime we get free actions, essentially, without having to spend resources, always a great thing in a game like this where action economy is always going to be at a premium. So freebies are always good. We'll take that every single time. Now, then the question really is, well, what does field gun give us? So this unit may be deployed with a piece of artillery on a field carriage. It must pay the points for the chosen artillery piece. And then if this unit chooses to take a gun on a field carriage, it must start the battle as assigned to it, and the gun can't be deployed inside a structure, which obviously makes sense because it's on the carriage. But basically, you get a mobile artillery piece. So instead of having that more static cannon that we typically would field if we're fighting on land. Now, they do have wheels on them and stuff like that, but this essentially is mounting it on a mounted carriage where then you can essentially shoot and scoot, essentially, with this thing throughout the game. So really neat thing, and really bringing in something, just a whole different ability that other forces more or less won't have access to, by and large, right? Again, with all the things we've covered so far, I don't think, again, that we've had Siege Expert before, so maybe once, right? So that's not a common ability for the game so far. Then he's got one more thing up his sleeve as well. That's Unorthodox Force. So flibustier units in this force may add horses for 4 points, not per model, so just 4 points for the unit. While mounted, these units apply a +1 penalty to all fight and shoot saves. So really neat stuff. So again, one of the fun things with Blood and Plunder is there's so many different factions, sub-factions, ways to create variations within the forces. Sometimes the commanders do that, and this is another one of those options here. So we take our standard French buccaneer force and all the special rules for that. Again, we've covered that in a separate video for each of these factions. But now, by bringing this character, we get this interesting ability to have like mounted mobile cannons, but in this case then also a mounted flibustier unit with essentially making them already better than they are with that penalty that they can apply to fight and shoot saves. So just really a cool character here. Have to at some point think about maybe building that mounted cannon, because I don't think Firelock makes that as a model yet, which they should, hopefully, someday. But worth considering building that. So a really neat character here. Be eager to see if anybody's run him. If you have, hit us up in the comments. Let us know how that's gone, and if you've done the mounted cannon thing and the mounted flibustiers as well. And the interesting thing too is here, with the points cost for the upgrade for the horses, it does not specify. Sometimes we get these special abilities, but it's only like, hey, only one unit in your force gets this. This just says flibustier units in the force period. So really, if you took a whole bunch of flibustier units and had the points, you could have a very largely mounted force, which coupled with the mobile cannon can really just present some interesting tactical options for you, and maybe something that the opponent might not really expect, and be in some cases equipped to deal with, especially depending on like certain scenario objectives and rules and stuff. So really cool character again, guys. Hit us up in the comments, as we said. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you more for more Blood and Plunder. Thanks for watching.